as fire rages across Los Angeles. Our next guest grew up in Los Angeles and watched in horror yesterday as his video show, the street he grew up on, burned to the ground, and his 6 previous houses all destroyed. Actor Dean Cain joins us from Nevada. Dean, your reaction to these unfolding events, I imagine you got a lot of them.
Yeah, it's stunning to see the devastation and what took place. But I call this a perfect storm, Brian. It's a perfect storm of mismanagement and failure of leadership, because the Santa Ana winds aren't new. Fires in this part of California is not new. We grew up fighting them and knowing what was going on. What is new is these decades of just absolute terrible leadership, failure to prepare, insane regulations, bureaucracy. It's crazy, and it all came to fruition today. Things I've been screaming about for years, and it would finally actually, the taxes, the regulations, these dumb policies finally forced me to move to Nevada. I have so many friends and family that are still there. Fortunately, everybody's okay. So many of my friends have lost their houses, lost everything. It's absolutely heartbreaking.
65%, the fire budget is 65% of the homeless budget, which is $1.3 billion. And they cut by $17 million the fire budget again, even though they were recommended not to. Karen Bass wanted a bigger cut, and the city legislature said, no, it can't be that big. She wanted a $23 million cut. And here is this poor excuse for a mayor who chose Ghana despite the threat of these fires, a trip there. Once she lands, instead of embracing it, trying to tackle it, listen to a Sky News reporter try to get answers from the mayor of Los Angeles.
You owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning. Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today?
Dean.
It's absolutely stunning. That is an elected official. The mayor of Los Angeles cannot answer a direct question in the middle of an absolute emergency. It's insane to me. That's the kind of failure of leadership that I'm talking about. It's crazy. And, anybody who could leave L.A., like myself, kind of has. I see so many people are like, I had to get out of there. I had to get out of there. And this is why. This kind of failure of leadership leads to death and destruction, and things just falling apart. And that's what took place here. I got to say, the firefighters and the first responders, unbelievable, heroic, incredible, and the people are such great people, and they're used to fighting these things. But you can't do it when all your tools are taken from you, and that's what's happened here. It's just absolute mismanagement. I am so embarrassed to see Karen Bass do that to a reporter. Just absolutely go quiet like she's in 2nd grade. She should resign immediately.
She's not equipped for the job. She never was equipped for the job. And the guy of self-made billionaire Caruso, who actually worked to save his property and help others, has been nailing it left and right. I wish he had won that. He's a Democrat. I wish he had won that election. Dean, I know we're going to talk a lot because you've had this direct experience. And thanks so much for getting up early for us. Appreciate it.
A pleasure, Brian. Anytime. By the way, Pacific Palisades High School, I played on that field a dozen times. Just heartbreaking.
They got to rebuild it. Back in a moment.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.